Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are sharing some mistakes about Dubai.
Okay guys, so one of the first mistakes people make is in their mode of transportation. So usually when you're getting into a taxi, we arrived to Dubai via cruise ship. And so there's lots of taxis sitting out there waiting for you to get on. So here's a few things about the taxi services there. So first of all, there's a couple different kinds of taxis. There's your regular taxi, metered taxi. Well, all the taxis are metered, but the first taxi is your regular taxi. The next one is a luxury car. So they're not going to be painted like a taxi, right? It'll just look like it'll be a nice kind of luxury brand vehicle that you're going to be taking. Now the difference between them is that the meter is going to start higher in the luxury car than in the regular taxi.
It's going to go up quicker too.
Much quicker. And some of the hotels, we stayed at the Fairmont in Dubai, and they offered us their hotel car as one of these luxury cars, but the fee wasn't as high as if we had picked up a luxury car, say, at the mall.
Yeah.
So the price, the starting price and how quickly it goes is different depending on what type of taxi you take. The other thing about it is that you need to know where you're going, like kind of which direction if you don't have Wi-Fi or cell service and can't use your GPS, because oftentimes the drivers will take the long way to get there, right? And so that's kind of a challenge.
And the last thing about it is that they do have to use the meter.
Yes.
If you ask them. So when you get in, they may offer you a price. It's probably higher than you would pay with the meter, which is why they're offering it to you. They're not offering you a discount, I can tell you that.
No.
So just tell them to use the meter. And you may have to tell them 2 or 3 times, and then they will put the meter on and you will get a lower price. So just know where you're going, make sure they use the meter, and you'll be fine.
And they do always make it sound like it's going to be a lot more if you use the meter, but it's not. It literally was like half the price that our taxi driver from the port to our hotel tried to haggle with us when we kept telling him turn the meter on, and it was like half the price, wasn't it, by the time we got there? It's a little bit crazy. All right, so the next thing is about food, is asking locals and other people kind of on the street and just kind of doing a little research on your own on Google for places to eat, because if you ask the hotel for recommendations, they have their list of go-tos, and they may not be exactly the type of thing that you're looking for or within your budget, or just isn't really going to give you the feel that you're looking for. Oftentimes they're going to offer you either like a Western restaurant or just something that's really high end.
Yeah, there's a lot of great food in Dubai, so just don't be afraid to get out and explore. We love some of the food that they have there.
Yeah. Now, speaking of hotels, a lot of times people think that if they get a hotel in kind of the historic part of the city, that's going to be close to everything, when actually that's about as far away as you're going to get from like the city center and the downtown Dubai area where the Burj Khalifa is. It's going to be a pretty good distance, so you're going to spend quite a bit of time either on the metro or in a taxi and quite a bit of money. So make sure that you look at the map of what are the places that you want to go to and try to get a hotel that's central to that, but also will give you access to being able to hail a taxi or hop onto the metro.
Yeah, there's only really 2 or 3 main areas that you'll want to stay. So just find out what's there and the one that you're going to visit the most, and pick a hotel in that region.
Yeah. Now, if you are booking your trip, this is a big issue that we see and hear about a lot, is that if you're booking your trip through a travel agent, oftentimes they'll get you a hotel in United Arab Emirates. And yes, Dubai is in United Arab Emirates. However, that's a completely different place. So it could be you could have a hotel in Abu Dhabi or Fujairah, but if you want to spend most of your time in Dubai, you're going to spend a lot of money and a lot of time in a taxi, because we're talking about 2 and 3 hour drives each way to to get to Dubai from some of the other Emirates. So make sure that you pay attention to where you're staying, where your hotel is, not just UAE, but which Emirate you're staying in, right?
Yeah, mostly you're gonna want to be in Dubai. If you want to go to Abu Dhabi, that's more of just a day trip that you can take from Dubai. So don't feel like you need to stay in Abu Dhabi unless there's something really specific that you want to see there.
And then the other thing is, we were talking about being in the city center, and that's all well and good. However, you're still not going to just be able to walk everywhere, which a lot of times we think, oh, I'm in the city center, I should be able to walk everywhere. Well, that's not the case in Dubai, because they've been building these communities, kind of city center communities all around. And the unfortunate part is that they're not really all connected and not really close. So you will have to transport to there. And one of the best ways that we found was by using the metro.
Yeah, it is a really big city and really too far to walk.
It is. Especially in the heat.
In the heat, you'll overheat really quickly.
Yes.
So just plan on using the metro. You could also take cabs, but it'll be a little more expensive. The metro is easy, safe and fast, and will go pretty much where you want to go. So just use that if you have to.
Yeah. All right, so if you don't already know, Rob is a professional photographer, and this is something that's important. If you're a professional photographer, or you have a lot of photography equipment and you're an amateur, be wary of the fact that professional photography is highly discouraged in the city. They see you set up with your big lens and your big tripod somewhere to take a picture, security is going to pop up pretty quickly. There's security cameras kind of all over the place. So just kind of keep an eye out for that, and just keep that in mind. Try to bring a smaller setup, right? So that you're not, causing a big camera scene everywhere that you go, because they are going to come over and say something to you for that. So just kind of keep that in mind.
And in this day and age, it's pretty easy just to make yourself look a little more low profile. You just don't have to draw attention to yourself with like a big photography vest or an enormous tripod everywhere you go. So it's pretty easy to not stand out in that way.
Yep. And in line with photography, if you like drones and you like to fly drones, you cannot fly one in Dubai without a permit, and those are really hard to get. And if they catch you flying a drone in Dubai, you will go to jail. So just keep that in mind, be smart, and be aware of the rules and the laws in this country, because not only if you think you're alone and you're looking around and you're like, oh, there's nobody here, I'm gonna go ahead and fly it here, you are so wrong. There are so many security cameras there, literally everywhere, and if you look, you will start to see how many there are. So they will find you pretty quickly and get to you pretty quickly. So just be smart. You don't want to end up in jail in UAE.
Yeah, we had a drone with us, but we didn't even take it out in Dubai. It just didn't seem worth it. There's other places that are much better to safely drone.
All right, next one is in reference to Ramadan. We were not there during Ramadan, but one thing that it's a low season, of course, to be there in Ramadan. It is a religious holiday, and basically everything shuts down during Ramadan. So if you're there and you want to eat during the day, you can't. There's very few restaurants that are open. If they're open, the windows are going to be boarded up and closed, or windows shut. So you're going to be sitting around eating in the dark. And there's no drinking, so even after the evening comes and they're eating, you can't drink. There's no drinking at all. It's actually, alcohol is pretty discouraged anyways in UAE. You can't even buy it at the store yourself. So just kind of keep that in mind if you go. Yeah, it's cheaper during that time, so if you're going on a budget, on an extreme budget, sure, Ramadan's a great time to go, but just know that a lot of attractions are closed, a lot of restaurants are closed. Yes, hotels are going to be considerably cheaper. Flights are going to be considerably cheaper because they know a lot of people aren't flying in, right?
Yeah.
But just, be aware of that.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
In our mind, it's just better to go when everything's open. So,
right.
Unless price is a concern and you can get a better deal, then go for that. But otherwise, I would go with during more of the high season.
Yeah. And a few other things to kind of keep in mind. It is a much more conservative culture than a lot of us are used to. We come from the United States, and although public drunkenness is not allowed where we live, sometimes people think when they're on vacation that they just, it's kind of a free-for-all. Keep in mind, like we said earlier, alcohol use is a big deal and it's discouraged. And so, if you had a few at the bar, don't hit the streets while you're drunk, because that's a good way to get arrested as well. Public drunkenness is a really big deal there too. So don't be one of those people that shows up, throws back a few. Make sure you make a plan before you go into a bar and start drinking and, lose track of what you're doing. So keep that in mind. The other thing is also just dress conservatively. Like we said, it is a very conservative culture, but just keep that in mind when you're out and about. And the same thing for like beachwear. Yeah, they have beautiful beaches, right? But only wear your beachwear at the beach. Do not take it out with you. Wear something there, wear something out. Don't wear your swimsuit out, because you will be called out pretty quickly, right?
Yeah. The next one that we noticed there was that affection is sort of discouraged out in public, and you just don't see much of that. So that's up to you, but I don't think you're going to get in trouble for it. But you will kind of stick out. And so if you're trying to blend in, which as a person traveling, that's always a good idea. Just be aware that they're not going to do a lot of public affection.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't remember seeing any couples holding hands. Definitely not even kissing in public, or even like arms around each other. It was just you're just walking side by side. So keep that in mind. And then the last one, which I thought was really interesting, because when we got there, it was right towards the end of the week, is that their weekend works a little bit different than you're used to. So actually things start to shut down. Their Friday is actually on Thursday. So Thursday night is when things start to shut down. Saturday is like the big party day, and then Saturday is like their Sunday, and Sunday in Dubai is a regular work day, which was amazing. I remember looking out the window of the hotel. It was like all kinds of traffic just backed up. I was like, what in the world? It's Sunday. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, just, but there's always people in Dubai. It's very busy, lots of tourists. So there'll be people every day.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So anyways, these are basically all of the, kind of mistakes and don'ts that we wanted to share with you about Dubai and our experience there. We hope that this is helpful for you on your visit. If you have been and you want to share some of your experiences as well, share that with us below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the video, and we'll see you on our next trip.